let's talk about, we're heading into Christmas and even New Year's Eve. There's so many wines out there, and you've kind of added some spice, or if people want to do things a little bit differently with wine, you've kind of paired some cocktails and even some cookies that you could go along with.
Yes. So we're ready to splurge. We have some cocktails paired with cookies this holiday
You
season.
can't go wrong
So
with that.
we need this in 2020. We need this. So I'm so ready to share these with you. So
So you have
one
a
of
kombucha for
Yes,
one of them.
kombucha. So we're going to use our H3 Cabernet Sauv Pacific Northwest wine, so supporting local. And we're making it into a little kombucha cocktail. So it makes me feel healthy, right? A little kombucha, glass of red wine. That's kind of the epitome of health. So I feel, pretty good about it. And all we did is really just add some fresh fruit, apple slices, orange, berries, a little bit of mint. Mainly it's the Cab Sauv, the H3, and then you add about a couple splashes of the kombucha. I think citrus or berry. I wouldn't really go like the gingery route with this one. Citrus, berry, fruit driven kombucha is going to be the best. And then a little bit of brandy because it's sangria. You want a little bit more alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's it. Pour over ice. You can make it in an individual glass like I did, or make a very large pitcher, depending on if you're hosting people this season. But so simple.
And your
But yeah, it's
recommendation
delicious.
for pairing it with the cookie?
So the kombucha we could pair it with, I would do an oatmeal raisin cookie because it has like a little bit of that fruitiness from the raisin, right? And then the savory chocolate cookie inside of it would be really good. So I would do a chocolate chip oatmeal raisin cookie with this booch sangria. And then we have another cocktail. You've probably had mulled wine before. So pretty iconic during the holidays is mulled wine. And a lot of people know about it, but I feel like we don't actually make the effort to make it. And I really love sharing this recipe because it's really not that hard. So we're using the intrinsic red blend, which, I mean, the bottle alone is pretty festive, so a good gifting wine. And this is going to be really warming. So, I mean, depending on where you're at, it's even cold in Phoenix. So I even crave a mulled wine when it's pretty chilly out. So all you really got to do is in a pot, whatever you have on the stove, combine honey, cinnamon stick, cloves, star anise is really important, apple cider, cranberry juice, and then an entire bottle of intrinsic red blend and a little bit of Grand Marnier, which is going to add a little bit more alcohol to it. Let it simmer for about 15 minutes. That's it. Put it in a little glass like this. You could do this, a mug, whatever you prefer. Add some clove, a little bit of cinnamon sticks, apples, cranberries, and there you go. Sounds more complicated than it is, but you're basically just throwing a lot of things in a hot pot and then pouring it into your festive glass.
I can only imagine how festive, and the smell, the aroma throughout your house too.
Oh, good. I prefer this over like fresh baked cookies, honestly, but that's just me. I'm like, oh, mulled wine is like the scent I want to smell this holiday season.
No,
Go ahead.
I agree. I agree completely.
And then this one, I mean, could go with cookies, but I think it's just as savory by itself. If I added a cookie, it might be a little bit too much because I could see myself having a few glasses of this. So what I really enjoy is our Arath Pinot Noir, which is our Oregon Pinot Noir. Have you had this one before?
I have. It is a delicious Pinot Noir.
So good. I mean, anytime someone asks me for the best gifting wine for the holidays in this price point, this is one of the first ones I recommend. You can't go wrong with it. It's definitely that fruit-driven, medium-body Pinot that is amazing on its own. I call it a Netflix wine, where you can just sit on the couch, watch your Netflix show, and drink this without food. So good. Or you could pair it with something. So I don't know if you're familiar with Linzer cookies. So during the holidays, I really like to make those. They're the jammy ones with the shortbread. This is really going to complement that. So you're going to have that jam-based cookie with the raspberry, the cranberry, and then this wine has sweet vanilla tones from the oak barrel. So think baking spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, vanilla. So it's going to be a really, really good pairing with the Linzer.
And that one's an easy one to find too at many stores if you're looking for it.
Oh yeah, I'm not super into the homemade ones, so I buy them at like, the grocery store. Perfect easy. Perfect. Oh, are you talking about the wine or the cookie?
Both. You could talk about both.
Both, exactly. Yeah, this is what you could find at most stores throughout the US. And then I think you got one of our Chateau Ste. Michelle Artist Series wines. Did
I
you dive into that?
I did, and it is amazing, the flavor profile in it, especially for this time of year. It's perfect for, holiday. If you're having if you are having a holiday party safely, to
Yeah.
drink one of those wines.
Yeah, or just save for yourself and drink, on your couch because it's so delicious. It's celebrating its 25th vintage of the Artist Series collection this year. So the label, as you've seen, is so beautiful. Definitely small selection. There's not too many out on the market, which is really fun. You got one of them, which is awesome.
Yes.
And each vintage features the work of a lot of prominent artists on the labels. So again, a great gift. It really is going to be delicious. And then of course we judge things by the label. Can't go wrong with that.
No, and you offer, and I love this about you because, like I said, I follow you on Instagram. You do virtual tastings as well for people that maybe want to dive into something new that they really haven't tried before.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely love that about my virtual tastings is introducing people to new regions and wines. And my whole thing is keeping it fun and approachable. If you like a wine, great. If you don't, okay, let's find a new one that you might like. And just spreading the love, right? That's all we can really do right now is, see each other virtually and drink some wine. And that's what we have going for us. That's the happiness in 2020.
What are some of the stores that if, someone wanted to pick up, one of those bottles of wine, where can they get them?
So most local grocery stores, you're going to have all these wines that we talked about. And I'm sure everyone's familiar right now with Drizzly. So you don't have to leave your house. Easy, check out on Drizzly and get it delivered right to your door. And then I also wanted to tell you guys, for all these cocktails, any specific wine pairings, questions, please follow me on my Instagram, Samantha Sommelier, and I will be sure to answer all of your wine related questions.
It's worth the follow. She's amazing, has a great insight on all the wines, and she's funny too.
Thank you so much, Kristin. I appreciate that.